Hello. Okay, this is a late night, and so I hope that you are well. We're gonna start this at almost 11 o'clock at night for tomorrow's video. But tonight we are talking about economy and politics, and what is your world's biggest secret? Let's go. This way. Oh, right. Hey, everybody. It's going to be a late night. We're going to dive into Endegar. So let's go. Today's world building challenge, this is day 8, is we're going to talk about the economy and the politics and what is your world's biggest secret. And this is a toughie. Also, with the recent history, I did promise you that I would get some minor events. And I said that they're minor because they're minor. These are probably large events, but I wanted minor events in the sense of the story of Endegar is going to heavily involve the quadrivium. And these minor events are just kind of the problems that happened that might have allowed the quadrivium to take over. So that's what these are. But we have a famine. There's an eclipse of waning or waxing magic. I kind of like this idea that maybe every 100 years there's this eclipse that either increases your magic or makes it almost like an anti-magic field on the planet. And what would that do? And maybe as players you could coordinate an attack against the quadrivium. I don't know. So there's something there. The kingdoms merging under Dominica, so how she came about and kind of found all of those. And a peace treaty with other races, which these are not in any particular order. Those are kind of the minor events that I was coming up with. I need to take over those, or I need to look at those further. So I apologize, but I will do that tomorrow. Just busy at work, and then today I had a game that I played online with Better Than Heroes. I'll link them down below. They do a Twitch stream in Spelljammer, invited me to play, and it was a lot of fun. And you can check out that game if you want to see me be silly. So we'll go back to our 30-day world building challenge, and we're going to talk about economy and politics, and what is your world's biggest secret. I think I want to keep this with Endegar and not necessarily, so when they say world, I think it should be the world of Endegar, not necessarily the secret of the universe. It could be. And my world's biggest secret is a dragon. All right, so here is my dragon, Dalranth, the Death Lord. Now, Dalranth is the one and only dragon in Endegar. And I like... I don't know, I was thinking of like Smog and stuff from Tolkien, but also if you just have the one creature that's eons old and exists and nobody knows really why or where, but it might have the answers for you, I like that a lot more rather than just dragons everywhere. So I thought it would be fun to have, there's one dragon on this physical planet, one dragon that we know of. So in the Endegar, in the realm of the people. And his name is Dalranth. And Dalranth is thought of as a myth to some, but is a very real creature. And so the lore and history of him is back when the world was new, when Endegar was new, there were actually 7 dragons. And Dalranth fought them individually and killed them. He ate the hearts of the other dragons and gained their strength. Then he rested, and he's been asleep for centuries. Myth states that if you can slay Dalranth and eat from his heart, you gain untold powers. And those untold powers I put here, like perhaps it could raise your main stat by 2, or you get an epic boon or something like that. The idea is if he ever wakes up, the world could be destroyed. He is an evil creature and a greater power. And there are people that would probably want to worship this dragon, and so I feel like there could be like a cult of the Death Lord or something like that. And we honestly, it's all myth. We don't know if he's evil or not. People are just like big scary dragon. But I like that there's, I don't know, he where he sleeps could also have a place of answers to kind of entice players to go there. And just a weird looming threat. and another chess piece on the board. I like that aspect of it where maybe if I'm a DM, I'm reading all of this stuff for this campaign setting, and then all of a sudden I start connecting the dots. Like, Dominica could utilize Dalranth to attack something or somebody like that. So there's kind of a tie there. So I think the biggest secret is going to be that this myth is true. Like if you can take down the Death Lord and eat of his heart, you can gain untold powers. I don't know, something I need to flesh out a little bit more too, but we're going to talk about the big secret is Dalranth, the Death Lord. An ancient dragon who killed all the other dragons. And I don't know, let's talk about this. Where other dragons, there were 7 dragons total. He was but 1. Maybe those dragons are a reflection of the deities. Maybe they're a reflection of something else. But the number of dragons needs to be significant because I'm kind of going with a weird math theme with a lot of stuff. So, and this is the big one, economy and politics. So we're going to jump over here. Now, this is, man, I feel like I need a Matt Colville. He's very good at coming up with political and understanding the intricacies of just cultures and all of this stuff kind of meshing together for like a fantasy novelist or a campaign setting or a game. And I've never ran a political or economic game, although I have a patron who is running a very interesting wealthy nobles game where you trade points of power. We just kind of assume that you're very wealthy and you don't need to buy trivial things. But if you want really awesome things, then you have this other currency that's like your political sway or something. And I thought that was very interesting. I have not run a game like that. But if you're writing a novel about economic theory, political power, this is going to be difficult, basically. Magic-rich world, we're talking about a lot of that stuff. So let's get down to the exercise. Just as you examined your timeline for events and pressures, now examine your map for resources and deficits. For 5 minutes, make a few notes on the map to mark places that have more of a type of resource and jot down anywhere that has a definite deficit in something needed. Also check your timeline. Some of your pressure point conflicts in the last 100 years may have resulted from an unexpected increase or decrease in the resources of one area or another. When you're done with the resources, take another 10 minutes and identify which major groups in your civilizations care about which resources. These factions may appear in your story, depending on how each faction. If you're aiming for a political story, okay, we're kind of going back there. And it says again, like you can label them with generic names and stuff. So let's go back to Endegar, the map. So here is Endegar. And I actually drew it in Incarnate today. I won't show you right now, but you can zoom in on a map and then it will make a new map from that zoomed in area and you can kind of fine tune the area. I'm using the word area a whole bunch. So here in this lower part, here, I'll make this a little bigger. So here in this lower part, we have water, we have fish, farmland, things like that. So I want to break this down to there's food here, there's minerals and constructions and metals and rocks here, and then what is here is probably going to be wood. I mean, there can be some trees and stuff over here next to the human settlements, but I think the elves are going to have woods and things like that. So to make it very basic kind of Settlers of Catan, I mean, you need food to eat and live. You need tools, and that's going to be, and you need, swords for combat and things like that. So I think what we're going to have Dominica, when she comes in, I think she's going to come in and offer a solution to a lot of these problems. The dwarves don't give us enough equipment or farm tools, and so we can't grow enough food to do X, Y, and Z. And she can introduce the power of magic can allow you to grow things. Or maybe you don't need this because we don't have to wait for rainfall. I can open a portal to the plane of water or something like that. So with her generous gifts, she's able to kind of bring all of these people on board, because the secret resource that Dominica wants is people. She wants mortals to help her in the fight against the other Quadrivium members. So going back to a couple days ago, or maybe it was yesterday, it's all kind of blurring together at this point, but Dominica she had a fight against two of their four Quadrivium members, because she wants supremacy, and they fought on the astral plane, and she had her fiends, the other one had his undead, and the third one had her fey creatures, and it did not pan out well. I think Dominica's idea is, if I can take people, specifically humans, but any mortal really, and augment them to have pacts with creatures, make them hybrid demons kind of a thing, then she will have an edge, because the fiends are not, she believes that will give her an edge. And I like that, where people are a resource. And she also wants to outfit her people with magic items. And that means taking over the dwarven areas, but that's not going to happen very easily, or hasn't happened very easily. So now they're in a trading kind of back and forth. And then we mentioned that in the timeline yesterday, we mentioned that the inverted tetrahedron pyramid, Court Primus, which is her floating fortress, was it constructed? Did it magically appear? Was it a blessing from one of the powers, one of the greater powers, to give to her? And that's something that I want to explore, because if it is magic can do anything and this thing just appeared, I don't know. Or is it that she was able to trade so many souls of mortals to Asmodeus to pay for this that was constructed in like the 9 hells to then be brought to her? There is an interesting secret there, going back to secrets, of how she actually got that. And I like that. I think perhaps that was built on on another plane, and it was brought here because she needed a symbol of her power to reestablish an attack on the other nations. So maybe that's it. Maybe she was able to trade so many people's souls, or trick them into that, in order to get that. I don't necessarily want to do a big political one, but I do want them to be, we talked about the theme of oppression. And I think if Dominica is the tyrannical overlord, and she's using the Pact Keepers as the police that are then enforcing all of her will, and people can't do anything about it, that she is the political power that we're fighting against. Which means making allies with elves, making allies with dwarves, or fey creatures, or creatures of the ocean, or anything, like the fates, if they could find them, gods. So economy-wise, keep the people poor. Political-wise, keep the power. Pact Keepers are the power, and if people are too poor, they have no weapons to fight back with. So we need a hero. And with that hero, that's where our players come in. Yeah. I'll talk more about this tomorrow when I have more time, but this was, like I said, a quicker video. Thank you for understanding. And yeah, what do you guys think of Endegar so far? Specifically, Does your world have the Hydra or the Minotaur or the dragon? Or do you like a world that is like there are all of these different dragons? I keep thinking of a lot, not like you go to the ocean and you're like, oh no, a kraken is not nearly as scary as saying it's the kraken, like the singular one that has existed for eons and lives underneath the ocean, coming up every 2,000 years to feast on 5 boats, and then it goes back down to the ocean. I like that a lot more. I feel like it gives the monsters more weight, but that also means that your campaign world is a little, well, if that dragon's dead, what happens? If the Kraken is killed, is it just gone now? Yes, it is. And I think taking that idea is kind of fun. Like if your campaign group kills the Kraken, then ocean trade routes are open and you can start new businesses and you can do all this other cool stuff. Thank you. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. Tell your friends about this challenge if you think that they are interested in it. I've really enjoyed hearing about your worlds. Make sure to use that hashtag my30dayworld. And you can check that out on all sorts of places. Twitter, Facebook, people are posting blogs and things like that. So search for that and you can read old and new. And with that, welcome to day 8, and we'll see you tomorrow for day 9. Not Sean Plott, but just, it'll be the 9th day. Take care, everybody.